Yes, they've made 93 arrests so far, taking 28 guns off of the streets. Attorney General Pam Bondi claims in a big win, saying they're locking up dangerous offenders. The heavy federal law enforcement, aided by National Guard troops, is specifically hitting black and brown neighborhoods the hardest, sparking real concerns about racial profiling. Activists say the heavy law enforcement is not effectively at all curbing crimes. Joining us right now is State Representative Justin Pearson. Glad to have you on the show. Y'all have been monitoring what's going on. Give us a sense of what's happening there on the ground.
Look, we are dealing with a federal occupation of our community that is unwanted by the people who live here, by our community members who want to see investment from the federal government, not wanting to see a military occupation of our community. A lot of people are terrified. A lot of students aren't going to school. A lot of parents aren't allowing their kids to go. And I think we're also going to see an economic effect. Not a lot of people are going into our businesses downtown. And this narrative of black criminality is what they're being and what they're pushing. We even had a white nationalist, Stephen Miller, here just a couple of days ago with Pam Bondi and Pete Hegseth alongside our Governor Bill Lee. We know what this is about. It has nothing to do with crime. It has everything to do with control of our community. And we don't want military occupation. What we want is poverty eradication. What we want is the beauty and the belovedness of our city to be shown, not the mythology and the pain that they're exacting upon us.
And to that point, I mean, the reason he's doing this because the Republican Governor Bill Lee is allowing him to do so. We're going to play the clip in a second. You had that white supremacist Stephen Miller there in Memphis who literally said to the cops, "You are now unleashed." I
Right.
mean, and so we're talking about the same police force that we saw a significant death of Tyree Nichols. We see how Donald Trump has no issue pardoning cops who beat and kill people. So this right here is a major issue when they come in and say, "Oh, we're going to let you do whatever you want to do."
I mean, it's 100% true. We had Tyree Nichols killed by Memphis police officers 2 years ago. Our relationship with law enforcement isn't always a good one, particularly when you're thinking about black and brown communities. Oftentimes, it's not a good one, and our communities suffer from these interactions that don't have to happen. And so when you have state troopers being sent by Governor Bill Lee, that is intended to increase the amount of stops that are happening on the highways, the amount of stops that are happening on the roads, you have to realize those interactions don't always end good. We think about Tyree, we think about Sandra Bland. What was a routine traffic stop ends up in someone losing their life. A traffic stop for people who are black and brown in this country is not the same as a stop for somebody who is white. In addition to this, right, we did not enter into a consent decree with the Department of Justice after the findings of pattern and practice showed that the Memphis Police Department historically targeted poor, lower income communities. We have so many deficiencies already as it relates to our law enforcement. So now to have the federal government coming in and taking over, in essence, law enforcement responsibilities, giving arrest, ensuring that people are going to have these court dates, hurting a jail system that's already strangulated by the lack of resources at 201 Poplar, is creating more problems than solving it. And again, if people really think this administration cared anything about crime, why did all of the January 6ers get pardoned? Right? The president of the United States himself is a white supremacist, but he's also a 34 count convicted felon. This has absolutely nothing to do with crime. That is how they are starting the conversation, but we need to realize they are going to be weaponizing the military, weaponizing federal resources during the next elections, during the presidential election, and this is how democracy gets destroyed. This is how fascism and authoritarianism gets normalized. And we again, just like in the 90s, when we were offered, black communities were offered, you get the crime bill and the three strikes law. We're being told, well, we're going to offer you military occupation, but we're never being offered resources to get kids more programming. We're never being offered resources to make sure no one goes to sleep hungry at night. We're never offered resources for affordable housing or health care, actually taking care of our veterans. We're always being deprived of the very things that could prevent crimes from happening in the first place.
The number one reason people buy life insurance is to pay for final expenses. If you're over 50, learn about term life coverage from the AARP Life Insurance Program.
Absolutely. And to the point many of us made, okay, let's say this surge lasts for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then a month. Okay, what are you going to do after that? Are they willing to actually pony up the resources that will be needed to not just have a police response, but to deal with the other issues that we know impact and reduce crime?
Root causes is the conversation I find Republicans, conservatives, and people who are wanting to be ignorant about what we are experiencing don't want to talk about. The root causes isn't that people just need more mentors, it's that poverty is the root cause of all crime. I was talking to a group of students today, and when I asked them, what is the root cause of crime? Each and every one of them yelled back, poverty. Because that's the problem. Two-thirds of the people who live in Memphis and Shelby County are living underneath the median income. 1 in 3 of our children are going to sleep living underneath the poverty line in our district. Poverty is a crime that is being committed by the federal government, by the state government against the people who live in this community. And in addition to the fact that the economic opportunity is not here, we have had this governor, who has been governor for 7 years now, going on 8 years, refuse to pass or support a single law that would reduce the accessibility of guns in our streets. And so when I have advocated for gun violence prevention laws, such as red flag laws, a waiting period, banning assault weapons, this governor has not used any of his political or social capital to ensure that those bills got passed. He's interested in giving billionaires the ability to send their kid to whatever school they want with private school vouchers, but he is not interested or invested in actually supporting our community. And so the beauty and the joy and the culture and the love that we have here gets harmed by policies and practices of Republican administrations that want to perpetuate, one, a myth of black criminality, but two, create crime by not passing laws that would prevent it from happening in the first place. And then coming back to us and saying, well, here's the only thing that we can do: over police you. The only thing that we can do is give you a military occupation. Yeah, I know you want violence intervention program money, but we need to cut that. That's what Donald Trump did in this recent bill. But that's not what we're asking for. That's not what we need. We want resources to be able to prevent crimes from happening, to be able to lift people out of poverty, to provide housing and health care, and give everyone access to opportunities that they deserve. But that is not what is being offered. And when that is not happening, we have to ask ourselves why. Why do they want to perpetuate this myth? Why do they want to continue to perpetuate policies that are dangerous and that are harmful towards us? And it is for incarceration. There are these private prisons and all these other things that they're ultimately benefiting from.
So I do get a crack, I get a kick out of them talking about and praising guns being taken off the streets, but then they don't want to do anything to take guns off the streets.
It is the most significant irony of this whole thing. They're counting the number of guns they're taking off the streets, but they're not counting how many guns people have gotten access to by the hundreds of bills that they've passed to make it easier for people to access firearms legally and illegally. Now in Tennessee, 18-year-olds can go and buy AR-15s. They have made it, uh, 30,000 guns have been stolen from cars since Republicans took the legislature and passed laws that made it so that you could have a firearm, leave your firearm in your car. 30,000 guns have been stolen since then. So they take no accountability for the predicament we find ourselves in. But the only solution that we are given is now we need to over-police you. There's no conversation about the root causes. There's no conversation about the fact that they did this to us.
Well, that is the case. So stay on the case. State Representative Justin Pearson, appreciate it. Good to see you at CBCF ALC this weekend.
Good to see you too. Let's keep fighting.
Hello,